Well, this is the season. This is the season where we're going to watch a lot of people get what they voted for, or a lot of people get what they did not vote for because they did not vote. Either way, it's playing out right in front of us. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. This is another U.S. immigration video update about the current situation in the United States of America under the Donald Trump administration. Hostile immigration environment. And I stress, quote unquote, the word hostile. So, according to Common Dreams, in yet another Donald Trump administration attack on migrants, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on Monday announced that nearly 1 million migrants who entered the United States of America legally under a Customs and Border Protection mobile application must leave immediately or face consequences, including potential criminal prosecution. When we brought you this same topic about a month ago, this was a plan in progress. Donald Trump was planning to revoke TPS, temporary protective status, for a large number of people. He had already set dates for the Venezuelans. He had already set dates for the Haitians, all TPS to end. And now it has come to an end. He has officially said, quote unquote, you must leave immediately or face consequences, including potential criminal prosecution. I saw a video last night of one official saying, my suggestion is that you leave at your own will and don't risk ending up in El Salvador because it might take a while to get you out of there. Oh my God. So, Department of Homeland Security notified migrants who were granted temporary parole protection after entering the country using the CBP One app. They've been now notified. This app was launched by the Biden administration in 2020, and it was upgraded in 2023 that it is time for you to leave the United States. You ever had your phone and a Amber alert goes out and your phone goes bomb, 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 and it says your local police is trying to locate a 7-year-old boy who went missing 2 hours ago, walking down Linden Street in 17th Avenue, wearing brown shirt, blue shoes, and green pants. If you've seen him, please XYZ. Well, that's the same kind of alert that went out to all these people. It went bomb, bomb. Your time is up. It is time for you to leave the United States. I'm telling you, they're not playing. So the department now exercising its discretion to terminate your parole. That's what the rest of it says. The department is now exercising its discretion to terminate your parole, is what the agency said in an email, to affect more than 200,000 unaffected migrants. Unless it expires sooner than that, your parole will terminate 7 days from the date you get this message. So you have 7 days to figure out how to get the hell up out of the country or face what we have coming for you. If you do not deport from the United States immediately, you will be subject to potential law enforcement actions that will result in your removal, the notice continues to say. You will be subject to potential criminal prosecution, civil fines, and penalties, and any other lawful option available to the federal government. Department of Homeland Security encourages you to leave immediately on your own. The notice stresses providing a link to a new app called the CBP Home, containing a self-deportation reporting feature for aliens illegally in the United States of America. Remember These people did not come here illegally. They came here perfectly legal under a program. That program was not started by the Biden administration, and Biden was not the first president to use that program. As we explained in previous videos we've done, that program is used in America for American government to help their allies or friend countries when the country is in distress and their citizens go running all over the place looking for safety. It allows America to open its doors to these citizens and say, come on in, stay here for a while until your country gets stabilized. So no doubt it's temporary. It can last up to 2 years, some even more with an extension. However, Donald Trump decided to not go with the extension. The CBP app was created by the Biden administration, but not the actual program that's used to allow these migrants to come into the United States of America legally. So again, for those who are so hardline politically, this is not just a Biden thing. Other presidents have used this before. So the message further goes on to say, do not attempt to remain in the United States. The federal government will find you. Department of Homeland Security. Approximately 985,000 migrants, almost a million of them, use this CBP1 app to schedule appointments with U.S. immigration officials when arriving at ports of entry, and they were generally permitted to remain in the country for 2 years with work authorization. So they could come and they could work and they could live somewhat normally for a period of 2 years. However, the Department of Homeland Security actually claimed on Monday that the Biden administration, they abused that parole authority to allow millions of illegal aliens into the U.S., which further fueled the worst border crisis in U.S. history. This is according to the Trump administration. Canceling these paroles is a promise that is kept to the American people to secure our borders and to protect national security. President Donald Trump, new CBP1 entries on January 20th, his first day in office. He ended the CBP1 entries as soon as he took office by executive order, a move that left thousands of migrants vulnerable, stranded in Mexico after their immigration appointments were canceled abruptly. Now, Monday's announcement does not affect people who entered the U.S. under the Operation Allies Welcome for Afghans or the Uniting for Ukraine program. So those Ukrainians who came in, I know a lot of people are going to say, those are Europeans. Well, hey, they're not affected. Although more than 200,000 Ukrainian beneficiaries last week received a separate, jarring email mistakenly informing them that their status had been revoked. Notice I said mistakenly informing them. They were later told, don't worry about it, it was a mistake. The new policy also should not immediately affect migrants who entered through the CBP1 and applied for asylum. It's those who did not apply for asylum that are in problems and have pending cases in the immigration courts. So for those who came in under the CBP1 app and they immediately filed for asylum and they have a case before the courts, they won't be affected under this yet. But if their cases are rejected by the immigration courts, then they will fall right under this as well. According to CBS News, immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez, who noted that the government generally has a wait for those cases to be adjudicated or terminated before moving to deport those individuals because their case is already before the courts. Now, more than 500,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelan migrants who entered the country through that CBP1 app with US-based financial sponsors. They are also bracing for the loss of their protected status on April 24th. So this is another 500,000 that's added to the 985,000. So you have 500,000 and then you have another 985,000, two separate sets of people. So Donald Trump is really trying to make good on the numbers. He said, remember when he said we will have the largest mass deportation the United States of America has ever seen. He's literally going about doing it so that this is what the outcome will be, right? It is still known that President Obama deported the most people as president than any other president before or after him. And I think Donald Trump is trying to beat those numbers and beat it in a big way. Now, additionally, the Trump administration announced that the revocation of temporary protective status, or the TPS, for over 1 million Haitians and Venezuelans should be added to this. So that's another 1 million on top of the 500,000 and on top of the 985,000. Damn. However, on March 31st, a federal judge in San Francisco blocked the administration's efforts to expel 350,000 Venezuelans temporary protective status recipients, finding that the deportations were motivated by unconstitutional animus and would inflict irreparable harm upon these affected migrants. Critics have accused Trump's administration and its supporters of reveling in cruelty inherent in forcibly removing these migrants. Now, I'll tell you what, he's going to continue to go to court and fight so that they are deported. Now, there's a plan in place also that I think everybody needs to be aware of, and that is the Trump administration has just unveiled plans costing migrants massive fines for every day that they are here and do not self-deport after their TPS has ended. So the Trump administration plans to begin filing illegal immigrants subject to a deportation order, $998 per day if they do not leave the United States of America. Of course, I'm asking, if I'm illegal here and you can't find me and you're racking up 900, let's call it $1,000 a day. When you eventually find me, all you can do is deport me because I don't have that money to pay, right? So how that money is going to be paid by these people is a whole nother story, but that's now on the books. $998 a day is the fine for any illegal immigrant who is subjected to deportation but has decided to not leave the United States. Illegal aliens should use the CBP Home app, which is a different app. It's actually the same app, but it's been reworked and labeled the CBP Home app to self-deport and leave the country now. If they don't leave, they will face the consequences. Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin told Fox News on Tuesday. This includes a fine of almost $1,000 a day for every day that illegal alien overstayed their final deportation order. Now, this comes with them using another law that's on the books. This is a 1996 law that was not enforced until President Donald Trump's first term in 2018. The administration plans to apply the penalties retroactively to illegal immigrants for up to 5 years. You could imagine $1,000 a day for 5 years? This will result in fines of more than $1 million an administration official said, who was first to report these fines. Crazy. Anyways, the administration could also seize property from illegal immigrants who failed to pay that stiff penalty. So if you've been here for a while and you've accumulated some things, they can take away everything that you have, confiscate it, and sell it. A flyer provided to Fox News Digital shows the benefits and the consequences for illegal immigrants who fail to self-deport through the CBP Home app. I'm guessing they're making it pretty hostile, right? Because you can fight to stay here, but in the meantime, you're fighting to stay here. There's an entity that's fighting for you to go. That's a powerful entity who has also now put it on the books that they can also confiscate all your belongings, your car if you have one, whatever else material possessions you have, and they can sell those to pay off this debt for the fee of $1,000 per day, or $998 per day to be exact. Self-deportation is safe. That's the headline of the flyers. It's it says self-deportation is safe. Leave on your own terms by picking your own departure flight. Damn. Now, other benefits of self-deporting includes allowing non-criminal illegal immigrants to keep money that they earned while they were in the US. Now, if you've been here under a TPS, you should have known that 2 years is the max for your TPS unless there was an extension or unless you filed for asylum and you got approved to be here permanently. So you should have been working because they even gave them the authorization to work. So you should have been working and saving money in the United States of America for 2 years straight. That would be a whole lot of money saved, right? Especially the US dollar is more when it is translated in most of these other countries. You should be going back home a millionaire if that's the case. And if you voluntarily self-deport, they will allow you to keep all your stuff, keep all the money you earned, and allow illegal immigrants to maintain eligibility for future potential legal immigration. That means in the future, if you want to come back, that won't be on your record, while some illegal immigrants may even be eligible for subsidized flights if they have trouble affording a ticket. You could literally go through the CBP Home app and say, hey, I want to self-deport, I want to go home, but I've been living rough in the US. I don't have a place to stay. I don't have money to purchase a ticket to get back to my country, but I respect the laws here. My TPS is up and I want to leave. They will pay for your ticket to leave. But if you stay and you're caught, you run the risk of $1,000 per day for every day your deportation order has been finalized after, and also you run the risk of ending up in El Salvador with your head shaved in a max security prison. Then you'll have to figure out how to get out of there. Now, meanwhile, the consequences section of the flyer warns that those who fail to self-deport will be apprehended by Department of Homeland Security, by those dreaded ICE officers with no opportunity to get your affairs in order beforehand. In other words, once they grab you, that is it. These are flyers that are being passed out. The flyer also spells out the potential fines, which I just explained includes $998 per day for failing to comply with final removal orders, and an additional fine of $1,000 to $5,000 for failing to self-deport after claiming that you would self-deport. Now, if you fail to self-deport, you may be subject to jail time in the United States of America before they deport you, adding that illegal immigrants would also later be prohibited from re-entering the U.S., through legal immigration systems. You will be blocked permanently for the rest of your life. Pretty interesting. I think if I was one of them at this point, I would be just heading back to my country. Take your chances and stay. The risk is too great, right? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. This is our latest U.S. immigration update video. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time we do another update on this channel. I'll see you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.